Hello there, Taylor with the Armageddon Report. Lots to talk about with Hurricane Sandy, but we'll get to that in a second. First, we're going to jump on over to here, where we are up to a medium chance of tropical cyclone formation out there in the Bay of Bengal. Back here with Son-Tinh, it looks to make direct landfall on Vietnam, and it would be the equivalent of a Category 2 hurricane, which would make it a typhoon out in the Northwest Pacific Basin. Actually, a Category 1 hurricane equivalent makes it already a typhoon. If you happen to speak Vietnamese, here is the official meteorological service from Vietnam. Here is their page on the storm, so there's some extra info there with Son-Tinh. But let's jut on over now to the Atlantic Basin. So this is Sandy. Sandy, the nor'easter cane, the Frankenstorm. Lots of words being thrown about for this one. And here's one of the many different ways of satellite views. But let's look. There's an AccuWeather story out. Historic Sandy targets New York, New Jersey, Delmarva, which is what Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia, I believe is what that stands for, right? So here's some interesting graphics where it's apparently going to be at its worst Monday, Tuesday, at least according to AccuWeather. And millions without power, widespread wind damage and flooding, coast inundated. Right. And here's the risks that they put out of coastal flooding and the peak winds. And one of the things that's been, put out there is you don't want to focus so much on where's the storm, the center of circulation, where's it going to make landfall, because it matters less, because hurricanes and tropical storms and such always have like a much wider impact than just where the center makes landfall. But in this storm, it's apparently going to be even more so, that there's going to be huge. If you look at this map, that is a huge amount of states to be impacted, and very far inland too, with 60 to 80 miles per hour, 40 to 50. That's bad. There's going to be, if it does pan out, and the closer we get, it's looking more and more like there will be an impact. So yes, you need to be preparing, of course. Here is a visualization that I thought might be interesting. This is one model. This is the GFS, which I believe stands for Global Forecast System. So this is one way to visualize where Sandy is now and where this particular model expects Sandy to make landfall. But you see, the more bands that it puts around it kind of indicates the stronger the low pressure system is. So that's Sandy. So Sandy, the remnants of Sandy are apparently going to be hanging around for quite some time too. So yes, let us take a look at the individual storm page where there's a whole bunch of, here's the radar. So you can see the outer bands of Sandy kind of showing up on the radar. Radar is something that's land-based, so since there's not a radar thing right out, if there were radar for the United States out here, then we'd be able to see Sandy on radar as well. There's the satellite imagery. Here are all of the local hurricane statements that in effect are quite a few places impacted. Here are the current land hazards. So we've got wind, which is viento, rainfall is lluvia, storm surge is marejada ciclónica. I do believe I can never remember the words. But yes, so it's been in the official path, and it still is, with a direct landfall apparently with Delaware and heading to Pennsylvania, still as like a tropical storm strength. So this is potentially going to be a very big thing. You should absolutely treat it. Don't panic quite yet, but absolutely treat it as though something is going to happen. So what is, think about, even if you're not going to be impacted by strong winds directly or the storm surge directly, what would happen to me if I were out without power for several days? Because anytime that there's a widespread wind event like this, they only have a limited amount of crews who can go out and cut down trees and get the power restored. So power could be out for quite some time in areas. So that's what you at the very least, that's what you need to be thinking about, is how would I be impacted if I without power for many, many days. So yes, that is what is happening with Hurricane Sandy. So this would be the second one, Isaac being the first to make landfall in the United States, well, hurricane-wise, to make landfall in the United States. I do believe Debbie never did make it up to hurricane status, so Debbie doesn't count or something. Yes, but on the plus side or something, severe thunderstorm weather-wise, it's green. It's green today, it's green across the board. So However, I should say, if you go to the day 4 through 8 page, it does say predictability too low, which actually technically means that there is the possibility of severe thunderstorm weather, but the models are not in enough agreement yet for them to put something on the map. Them being the Storm Prediction Center. Right, so moving on to this bit of a tangent, I thought I'd bring this up. This is an article from Nashua Patch, apparently, Nashua, New Hampshire, talking about Justin Gates, the director of emergency management out there. And of course, why I bring this up, if you scroll down, Cyclokin was mentioned, so I thought that was really neat. That was really humbling. I mean, look at that. I really like the site. It's got everything. So, thank you, Justin Gates, for the mention. I think that is just really... I think that's just really neat. Anyway, SevereWeatherTV.com is the official homepage of the screencast. Wicked Wicks, when relevant, which seems to be less and less, you know, during the winter months, is wickedwx.com. Cyclocane is cyclocane.com. That's it for today. Start getting everything prepared. Start thinking about what you're going to be doing over this weekend. And, you know, and also apparently mandatory evacuation plans have already started too. So you may not have the, you know, there might be, you know, you don't even maybe get the chance or the choice. That's the word, the choice to decide whether you're going to stick around and stay for the lovely festivities. Right, so that's it for today. Stay safe out there.